What's happening, people? Some of y'all just see me on Nita the Diva show. Be sure to subscribe to her channel. But now we're back on the Life Gain Avengers. The current coach is me. It's Holiday Larry. The living legend Holiday Larry is in the building. How you doing, my brother? Who are you a gift to, my man?
Man, I am a gift to the world. You know?
Damn right.
I am a gift to the world, trying to spread joy, love, and knowledge. And for those who need it, a little bit of ass whooping. But everybody else, love and joy. Love and joy.
My man said he handing out that Stone Cold Steve Austin to anybody that wanted. He handing out ass whippings left and right. And
suplexing people.
And you can cool believe if you don't have a mask on, he's definitely handing out an ass whipping in the mad situation if you get within his 6 feet zone. Got to,
mask
man.
up.
Like
I'm telling you, I live in a stand your ground state. I'm standing my ground.
Hey, speaking of your state, that's a great lead in and to the three subjects we're covering today. And we'll go ahead and start since you mentioned your state. And let me shout out everybody. Mike Willie, my brother. Let me shout out Howard McQuarters. Let me shout out Trisha C. I sent a couple of my people some emails today about some hot stocks. And I sent them a little late. But if you got in on Stitch Effects at noon, you still could have made some money. And we will cover that after we get done talking about Larry's state. So my man William is in the building. Chris P. D. Chauncey's in the building. Muchella. Let me tell you something, Muchella, I'm really not dealing with you no more because you come on this channel, you embarrass me. The fans like you more than me. When you come up here and you start all the lock and key drama, Muchella. Look, if you want me to do a cameo on your damn channel the way I just did Nita the Diva, you cannot come on my channel, start trouble, and then get liked more than me. No way. No way.
Oh.
I don't want to see a single lock and key tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single one.
Oh, I left my lock over there. I should have opened it up.
Well, leave it over there. Now let's get on into it. Here we go, man. Desmond
D, setting it off.
Careful, man. Golly. Now, man. Let's get on with this show. Larry, do you mind if I tell people what state you live in?
No, man, go for it. I live in Virginia.
Larry lives in Virginia. My man Buzz is in the Virginia area. My folk Nita the Diva and Tim are in the Virginia area. And Larry,
703.
Your state could be about to make history. And let me go ahead and get into this story. Take a look at this first, then we're going to break this down.
A Democratic delegate files paperwork to run what could be a history-making campaign to become Virginia's first woman governor. State delegate Jennifer Carroll Foy would also be the first African-American female governor in the United States. She is an attorney and two-term member of the House of Delegates. She was among the first women to graduate from the traditionally all-male Virginia Military Institute. She has not made an official announcement yet, her chief of staff saying she is focusing on the ongoing pandemic and the state's response.
Yeah,
so
man.
Let me show this to the people. So right now, the current governor is this guy right here, Ralph Northam. He's been okay, but I'm gonna lean on Larry for his expertise on his governor. And the guy before him was this dude right here, Terry McAuliffe, who I didn't really care for much, but he was a Democrat. And he is also running again. And so to give you guys context about this young woman right here, now, she's got a lot going for herself. Now, for Larry's taste, she's a little too chunky, but for me, I'm good with it. Her background is this. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that background. Virginia Military Academy, first woman. Then she goes on to Virginia State. Then she goes on to Thomas Jefferson School of Law. And this is what she believes in. Healthcare. She voted to pass Medicare expansion. Women's rights. She's all in that. Criminal justice. She's an advocate of getting rid of this pay-to-play bail. And I'm with her on that one. Labor, Foy has been an advocate for paid family and medical leave for all workers. Infrastructure, she supports efforts to expand broadband access, particularly to Southwest Virginia. This is her family bio. Larry.
What?
Larry. Larry. And she's currently, she was a delegate, and she's going to end being a delegate as of the 20th of this month, so she can run for governor. Larry, I got a good feeling about this woman. Larry, I think this woman could legitimately make a run for the White House. She's 38 years old. She's smart as a whip. She's done a lot in politics. She's got a great, great foundation of people that love her in the state, including your current governor. Larry, talk to me about Virginia and what it would look like if she became the first African-American female to be a governor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for her. I mean, it seems like she seems legit. You know, look, people were actually sort of priming Justin Fairfax to be that because he's the current lieutenant governor, but he went and screwed his whole situation up. So,
look, do you remember when I came to visit you and we got thrown out that hotel because it caught on fire? That was the week. That was the week he was caught up in all that mess.
Right. Yeah, he messed himself up for that. So, but I can't, I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say it was something Wilder or something, but Virginia had the first black governor in the country.
Yeah, they did.
I can't remember the gentleman's name off the top of my head, but I remember him being on the cover of Ebony magazine back in the day. And but yeah, I would really be excited to see her run and win. Man, I can tell you right now, if she graduated, what she did, she graduated from VMI. This woman is no joke, because not just the fact that the Virginia Military Institute is a tough school to get into, it's a tough school to get out of, and they are horribly, horribly racist. I mean, they have a ridiculous long history of belligerent racism towards black people. And I mean, they made movies about it. It's that bad. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a movie made some years ago. I think Pernell Whitaker starred in it. I don't know if you guys remember Pernell Whitaker, the boxer. He starred in it. But he played the cadet that was there, and they were doing all kinds of stuff to try and get him to quit. And so William Richardson Sr. said, Douglas Wilder, that's it. So, but it was about the racism at VMI, and so if she made it through, man, big ups to her. Big ups to her. That is, I mean, I'm down for it. She looks legit, and I don't think there's going to be any. I don't think there's going to be any scandals like Justin Fairfax had, because Justin Fairfax, I mean, this dude was primed for the White House. They were talking about running him for governor, and the thing is about Virginia. That's interesting. Virginia, you can only serve one term as governor before you have to sit out.
Right.
It's not even like it's one of those situations where you're going to get in there, you're wildly popular, you're doing all kinds of good work for your state, and then the Democratic Party's like, no, we don't want you to leave because we like what you're doing there. Stay put. They can't even do that because you get one term, and then you have to at least sit out for a term before you can come and run again. So what happens with Virginia, in Virginia politics, you often have people, they run for governor, and then they go to Congress, and they go either to the House or the Senate. That's what what's his name did. Tim Kaine. He was not Tim Kaine. Excuse, was it Tim? No, it was
Terry McAuliffe.
Yeah, McAuliffe. He left, went over to Congress. A lot of people do that, or some people go to the private sector, but most people, they go and they run for office elsewhere. And so I can see her being perfectly primed for this. If she gets in there, she runs, she wins, she's set up nicely for a presidential bid. And
Larry, the first thing when I got to reading her history, when I saw that she went to that school, I was like, man, this chick got balls. And then I went and looked and saw that she had a family. The other thing that came to my mind was she had to have married a white dude to get through that thing. And she married a brother. Not just a brother, she married a around the way looking brother.
Yeah, he looked like a legit dude.
Yeah, legit dude, legit family, beautiful family. And then I read about how popular this chick is around Virginia. And Virginia, even though it tends to go blue, Virginia is probably a microcosm of what the U.S. really is, what the constitutions of people really are in America. Most people lean blue, but you got a lot of people that are red. That's Virginia.
And if you, for those of you who don't know about Virginia, and it's not like I did before I moved here, but
Right.
Virginia, this is the way Virginia works. You have Northern Virginia, which is where I live. Northern Virginia is just outside of DC. Northern Virginia borders DC. And in fact, they gave up the way DC actually worked is they gave up part of Virginia and then a part of Maryland to form the District of Columbia. A large
Right.
part of what is DC now used to be Virginia.
And it was a big fight, ladies and gentlemen. I watched Aerial America. If you love history of this country, check out Aerial America.
Yeah, it's on the Smithsonian Channel, which I used to work for as a producer. So check them out. Good people over there doing great work. But Virginia, Northern Virginia is a very, very, very wealthy area. I mean, there are a ton of people over here with a lot of money because you have all these politicians, you have all these lobbyists, you have all the defense contractors, you have all these people here with a crap ton of money. And what happens is all the wealthy people live in Northern Virginia. The rest of Virginia is not nearly as populated, and they don't have nearly as much money. In fact, if we did not have Northern Virginia, Virginia would pretty much be a poverty state, but it's not because of all of the wealth in Northern Virginia. But what happens is when you have wealth and when you have people who are educated, you also have people who are very Democratic leaning. They're very blue leaning. And that's why, and that is what's happened because a big bulk of the population is here in Northern Virginia. So, but you still have the rest of Virginia that is very, very red because a lot of Virginia is rural. They have a lot of farms and some ranches, and it's still once you get down south more, it's a very southern-ish state, I mean, once you get down south, if you come to Northern Virginia, people don't sound like they really have accents. But you get down further, people sound like they have what people often think of as a traditional Southern accent. It changes a lot. It changes when you get down there. So,
well, I'll be following.
The weather's nicer down south, though. I'll say that because.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the weather's nicer. You can be up here. I've been up here in Northern Virginia when it's been cold, like snow on the ground, and I've driven down like 2 hours or 3 hours down to down south a little bit and near like Hampton, and it'll be 70, 80 degrees.
Well, like I said, me and my wife are entertaining the idea of moving from North Carolina, or at very least moving from where we currently live. And Washington, D.C. is something I like the area. And, I wouldn't mind seeing her working for the NIH, the National Institute of Health.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a great place to raise a child. So if you live in Virginia, y'all might be seeing me in the Washington, D.C. area in 5 years. And I really like that lady, Larry.
Oh,
and I'm a rocks with her. So we're going to move on. But before we move on, D'Angelo Washington, my brother. Look, I just can't.
Coming through like Killmonger. He's coming through like Killmonger, just knocking him down. Just saying Wakanda.
Had to go there. So, D'Angelo, this is for you, my brother. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to update my videos, but this one right here is for you.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. Practice? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
So a native
of super chats.
Native of Virginia, speaking of which, coming through, and because my man D'Angelo Washington came through, he ain't practicing. He doing the damn thing. He ain't
practicing. Super chats.
Super chatting, and I appreciate that, homie.
Super chats.
And so
Scoop
now we've got one more subject I want to cover before we get into all the craziness on Power and some of the expectations. And I've got fan comments tonight.
Now,
So
if you don't cover this subject, because we didn't really discuss, because we got on here right before we logged in, right before we went on. So if you don't talk about this subject, I'm gonna have to bring it up and ask you what you think about it. So let's see what you got first.
Well, the next one for me is I can't do these shows without giving people their life gains financially. And this particular subject is definitely about stocks and the things I'm investing in, trying to show some people. So today, I guess we'll start with DoorDash. So today, DoorDash, ladies and gentlemen,
they broke my heart, man.
Went IPO today, and I was telling people, don't buy it. I'm not a fan of DoorDash. I'm not a fan of that business model, and I was encouraging people not to buy it. And so let me show you what happened with DoorDash. Let me scroll on down here on my list.
These private IPOs are killing me, man.
Exactly. Larry knows exactly where I'm going with DoorDash. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is DoorDash, right? The private IPO price for DoorDash was 102. So if you got in with private money, you got it for 102. But the minute they launched it for retail investors, that bitch went up to like, what was 182? Somewhere, let's see, it went on.
It was
163.81. That's when it went live.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, no. I don't know when DoorDash is going to ever turn a profit. I can't see a profit coming with DoorDash anytime soon. A lot of people sold a lot of stock today. The NASDAQ went completely red, and a lot of people sold stock. And I'm assuming they pumped it into DoorDash. And ladies and gentlemen, they said one of their private investors was SoftBank. SoftBank walked away with $5 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever they have these IPOs and they put up the private equity price, and then you see the price shoot up, just wait. Don't even buy it. Because all that's happening is everybody that got in on the private equity price is just taking all the retailers' money. So
I mean, you can get in early if you get, like, when they have those things, if you get in at like the moment it goes live and then you sell it like about an hour or two later, you can make some good money because it's gonna shoot up and then it's gonna drop and then it's gonna start to level out.
It didn't do that with this one, Larry. This one, the minute it started trading, went to 182, and it stayed. The highest it maxed out was 191, and then 2 hours later, it dropped down to 179.
Yeah,
and we've got.
Well, that's what I mean. If you would have got in at 163 right at opening, if you would have got in right at 163 when it went live, you could have sold it when it got up to that 192 or something, and then got out, and you could have made some money.
It didn't open at 163. It opened at 183.
I thought it said no. It opened at 163.
No.
No, go back.
It came in at 180 something.
163 it opened.
Well, that's not true. Can you see my screen?
I can.
It's showing 163 at 11 o'clock, and the stock didn't go online until that time, 12:40.
It's showing. Okay.
And I was watching it on on CNBC, and the first sale was 180. Was this number right here? No, it wasn't that. It was 183.
Okay. All right.
And
I was disappointed because I was hoping to get in on it, but they were talking about they're supposed to start trading at like $75 a share, and and at $100 and some dollars, I was like, that was way more than I wanted to spend on that. Because all the stuff that you have been talking about with DoorDash, it still holds true. They haven't made a profit. They don't know when they're going to make a profit. The surge of sales that they've had, and over the last 8 months or so during the pandemic, they have already said they don't believe they can sustain that because eventually their vaccine's going to come and restaurants are going to open back up and people are going to go back out to eat. So
Exactly.
they're not sure when they're going to make a profit or if they will. You know,
they're gonna have to diversify their business model. They're gonna have to. I heard behind closed doors they're trying to partner up with an autonomous driving SPAC. If they do that, that might work out for them. But just as the business model is right now, nah. And one last thing I want to show people, Larry, for those of you that want to know about two hot stocks that I did mention to Larry, and I mentioned to all my email and Instagram people. I did some homework on these two stocks on the bottom, Liquidity Services and Stitch Effect. So let me jump on in here. And I bought them today. I bought 100 shares today of both. And this is Stitch Effects. And I bought in at $52.23 a share. You see, I made $405 today. And I'm probably going to get out maybe tomorrow. But the foundation of this stock is red hot. It's great. The numbers are great. This is one you can buy and hold long term. And the other one, I'm even bigger on that one for a long-term hold because the numbers on this other one is better, even though the stock is not as expensive. Liquidity Services. Let me click on this one, then we'll be done with this. Okay, here we go. So Liquidity Services. I jumped in on them today at $15.22, and I've made $57 today. And you see they went up a little bit. But if you just look at what they've done in the last week, they went up 6. Last month, they went up 6. 3 months, they've gone up 8. You see they are a slow burn of income to be made, ladies and gentlemen. And they're resurging because they work with e-commerce solutions and they work about kind of like fintech, basically a financial solution for online businesses. And we know that is going to continue to grow. That's not going to stop. Every time you think about somebody on YouTube, think about their pipeline. They're probably doing online business, online funding with someone. And this is a company that's going to be in that area. So those are my stock recommendations for you all to get involved with this week. And the only options I did, these 3 calls right here, I got Riot Blockchain, I got Stamps, and I did a Tesla call. And I'm going to win all of them because Tesla had my account at 190,000. And then their ass going to tank this afternoon and brought it back down $9,000. So goodbye. But those are my recommendations for the people out there that's following us and keeping up with the stocks and the options and everything that's coming out that's going to be brand new. Jump on it, my people. Make that money.
So one thing that's going to be interesting, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the market with Facebook, because I don't know if you heard, but this afternoon a federal court said that Facebook was guilty of anti-competitive behaviors, and they said that their ruling is that Facebook is going to have to be broken up. Now I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm sure it's going to get dragged on through an appeal. It's probably going to have to go to the Supreme Court. But I mean, if they're gonna have to break up Facebook, I mean, they already, because when you think about some of the Facebook's larger properties, you have Instagram, you have WhatsApp, they have some other ones out there I don't really think of, but some of the other things that they have as a part of Facebook is like Facebook Messenger. Those are ones that we often see in the consumer space in the front. But they have all of their other services for advertising that we often don't see because most of us don't advertise with Facebook, but they have all of that as well. It's huge. Facebook is huge, man. And I'm just curious about what it's going to look like after the fact, I
don't know, man. Facebook has gone through this one time, but they didn't go through it when you had 48 states. Larry, let that sink in. 48 states are joining New York. Do you know how hard it is to get 48 different governors to agree on anything?
Yeah.
I mean, and they are all, but in one respect, you want them to be doing this for the right reasons. You want them to be doing this because they're not creating a monopoly. But then at the same time, I know that there are some out there who are probably upset, feel like they're meddling, because whenever our government sees an entity that is becoming so robust that it could threaten the fabric of the government, they go after them. They went after Bill Gates and Microsoft. He wound up having to give some backdoor money to Apple, and now they're doing it to Facebook. But one of Facebook's biggest arguments is going to be, because they used the same argument the last time they was in court. What about Google? What Google controls more market share than we do, even though they're not buying up all the competition, quote unquote. What Google has strategically done, Larry, they don't let the competition get to $1 billion company. Like what?
No, they buy them early.
Exactly.
They don't. The thing is, like, Facebook doesn't necessarily look at the company. They're looking at the technology. So they're saying, okay, this company is developing this technology. We see where it's going. We're just going to buy the company so that we own all the technology. That way, no one can come out and say, oh, they're controlling the market because they're not allowing us to grow. No, Google owns all the doggone technology because they bought it all. You know?
Yeah. So we'll follow that. From what I've seen, history following Facebook stock, if you guys are following Facebook stock, when this kind of news hits,
Google was smart too, though, because Google went and changed. Google went and started they started Alphabet and used that as a way, as sort of a buffer zone between their other companies, between Google, between YouTube, between I forgot what the other one was, but there was a couple of different ones that they went ahead and did that. So that the people at Google have been smart. I'm sure they probably went and hired some former, U.S. attorneys that did anti-competitive stuff and anti whatever the phrase is. I'm sure they went and hired those folks because they have been extraordinarily smart in staying off the radar of the federal government.
Mm-hmm. Well,
not to mention they have a ton of contracts with the federal government, which probably doesn't hurt.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll follow it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's power time. We've got audience reactions, plus we got a story I want to cover. The first story I want to cover deals with a subscriber who hit me up dealing with 2Bit, and I'm going to set his theory up by showing you this.
I've never known you to play for mistrial. You always play to win.
Paula, don't worry. I promise you, we will get the verdict we should. This is the right jury. I know what I'm doing.
Besides, I don't know nothing anyway.
That's bullshit. You know everything.
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
You know who I am, nigga. I'm Black motherfucking Santa Claus, and I'm about to give you the gift of the century.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my theory. This is my folk Ron's theory. There was a conversation Method Man was having with Paula. It was basically pillow talk. When he was talking about his relatives, he said he had a brother that was doing time. Shout out to my man Ron. He wants to know, could it be that Meth MacLean is 2Bit's brother, which is why he highlighted "you know me" N-word, and why he told Paula that I got a brother that's locked up. Larry, could you see that? Could you see that being Meth's brother, 2Bit?
Wow, that would be yeah, that's something else right there. Oh yeah, I don't even know.
Hey, well, let's just say that they did make 2Bit. Let's just say they did make 2Bit his brother. How would that play into the story?
I'll tell you this, from a legal route, that 2Bit is her attorney's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Her conviction's gonna be her conviction's gonna be set aside. She's gonna get well, I don't know if it'll be set aside, but she'll get granted a new trial, because I think at that point she'll have a legitimate appeal to say that she received inadequate counsel, that her lawyer threw the case because he was working really on behalf of her brother, his own brother, rather than her, and used the opportunity of her situation to get him out of jail. And so I'm thinking that it might be great for Tasha, because even though Tasha, if she gets out, it's great for her either way, because if Meth MacLean does a great job and gets her out, she's out. If he does a terrible job and she's locked up, she has an appeal that she's likely to win. So we'll see.
Well, Paula just said, when have I ever known you to be playing for a mistrial? And he's looked like he's going for the mistrial, Larry. Like he's still going to get Tasha out, and he seemed like he's cool with it. So it would be very, very, very interesting if they pulled that out. But I would just go for it.
Remember when when they had that meeting in the chambers, when they had meetings in chambers with Sachs and Meth MacLean, and there was and they brought in
Rodriguez.
And the judge was very, very close to throwing this thing out, telling Sachs, look, this is all too messy. You've got your hands in all kinds of weird places. And he convinced the judge to let the case go forward. But she was very close to throwing it out. And I think if Meth MacLean can get a mistrial, that the court is not going to hear this case again. They're going to simply say no to the federal government. No, you guys F this up colossally. There's no way in hell we're going to hear this case again. It's done. She's done. You're out. Don't touch her again. And I think that's where it'll go.
Okay.
So I can see why he would want a mistrial, because I think it would be best for his client. The best thing would be an acquittal, but if the next best thing would be a mistrial, because I don't think the courts will hear it again.
Okay, I can roll with that. I guess, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. Shout out to my subscriber for that theory. Next one we're going to cover is this little thing right here. Oh man, just make me laugh. This thing right here.
Oh, the troll doll.
Yes, Larry, the Care Bear troll doll. Larry, give me your top 2 lists. Who's going to kill her? And by the way, shout out to Sharonda from Pay Her Weight. She cannot stand this girl. She actually got a bad name for this girl that I cannot repeat on my PG channel. Oops, this ain't PG. But it's so bad I can't even repeat it on my channel. She hates Riley. Larry, top 2. Who's going to kill her?
Man, I was thinking it was going to be Braden that killed her. But to be honest with you, now that 2-Bit's out, Tariq might put him to work.
What?
Tariq might be like, this chick needs to go.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
I can get with you on that. I'm sure Tariq is going to say that. But I don't think he's going to make 2-Bit do it.
He might be like, 2-Bit may be like, yo, what can I do? I need some work. And he might be like, you may not want this work, but I got this work. And he might be like, oh, that's nothing, man. I got this. He might just pop her off just for practice, just to make sure he's back in there. You know?
I kind of feel like they – so you've got 2-Bit. Who's your other person that you think might kill her?
Nah, that 2-Bit's probably my second choice. I still think that Braden's gonna kill her. I think that's gonna be because that is as far as what the writers have shown us this far, they like people. They're very much along the whole Shakespearean way of thinking. They like people getting killed by people close to them, by people that they care about and that cares for them. So I still see it being Braden, and I think that Braden we're seeing Braden going down the whole Tommy route in a lot of ways, where, I mean, we don't know how Tommy grew up yet, we haven't seen that, but we're seeing him liking the streets. He has the opportunity to stay off the streets and make money, but he doesn't want to. He likes being in the streets. He wants to be a gangster. And I think if he kills her, I think it's going to change his mindset in a way where he's going to become more hardened, and which is going to probably cause Tariq some issues, because right now Tariq sort of runs everything. But I think if he busts his cherry and kills her, it's going to put him in a different sort of mindset, in a different place, where now Tariq might be like, oh, I need to be worried about him. Not just because he's rich and white and that could bring its own trouble, but because he's actually dangerous. Mm-hmm. And in either case, I think it's going to be Braden that kills her.
Right.
But I just don't see them doing. It's too easy to let Tariq kill her. That's just too easy. I mean, obviously we know that if Tariq killed her and then Braden found out, that it would be all kinds of drama between the two. They could have Tariq kill her, and then people are wondering, oh, what happened? Braden's wondering what happened. But unless somehow Tariq can kill her and make it look like an accident, if she gets murdered, the first person Braden's gonna think that did it is Tariq. And so the only way to make that happen is if Braden actually kills her.
Well, I think the writers want us to think that Braden is going to do the killing. So my top 2 list of killing Nancy's white daughter, which she looked like she got a little Asian in her. I'm going to say it's going to be
That's his
niece, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit of white on white crime. So my top 2 picks, Braden is number 2 because I think the writers want to think that. But what if Braden's brother, for whatever the reason, gets pushed into a corner and kills, I'm about to say Holly, and kills Riley, and that be the thing that puts puts Braden over the top to actually put a cap in his brother. I could see the writers going in a direction where where Trace is put into such a box. He knows Braden cares for this girl, and he winds up killing her out of some kind of vengeance, some kind of a get out this corner to hurt Braden. And then Braden turns around, takes out Trace. My top 2 picks, white on white crime, Trace or Braden. Larry, what you think?
The only way that I could think that Trace would kill her is if for some reason she was gonna if she was basically gonna have Braden go down. If it looked like she was the only thing that was about to take Braden down, then I can see Trace maybe killing her. Mm-hmm. And then telling Braden, look, this is what was going to happen. It would be a situation similar to what happened with Tasha and Lala, where she killed her, not because she wanted to, but because it needed to get done. And Tommy, it was like she didn't want it, Tommy didn't want it to be true, but he knew that what Tasha did was the right thing. But I mean, he was still upset. He was still reeling from the fact that he had to take out Holly. Now he found this new chick and he's with her. He's happy, but he knew that it needed to get done. So in the same way, I think the only way Trace would kill her is if he knew that it was going to take his brother down. I'm sure that Trace gives 2 lickety splits about Tariq, but he does love his brother. And so I don't see him letting his brother go down. Just like Braden was ready to jump out there in the streets with those dudes. He was like, look, I know you're up here, made us do this stuff. You have a gun on me. And he was still ready to jump out the car and be like, no, I don't care what you say. That's my brother. No one gets to put their hands on my brother but me, And so, I mean, I feel like Trace is probably going to be the same way, especially because Braden is his little brother. And it's just naturally he's going to be protective of his little brother. No. So I mean, this is where I can see a problem coming in is that if Trace has to take out Troll Doll, what's her name, Riley, and Trace at that point might be to Braden like, look, you're done with this. You're done. We're done. Both of us, we are done with this shit. We are going on the straight and narrow. And now you may have a problem because maybe Braden doesn't want to go on the straight and narrow, and maybe Tariq is like, nah, I'm not done with you guys yet. Okay. And so that could be a problem in itself, but it could be Trace, but that would be a stretch. It would be a stretch.
Hey man, we like stretching over here. We like stretching like we in damn yoga class. We like hot yoga stretching. That's what we do over here. We stretch it out, baby. We stretch it out. Don't get confused, people. Salt and sugar look just alike. But if you pull out 2 bowls and put it outside, the ants is only going to go to one of them. And that's the one we're going to. Trace and Braden. 2 barrels of white fine powder. One of them salt, one of them sugar. And I'm thinking on this one, the salt is going to be Trace.
Woo. Ronald Cameron said Trace might get killed for having loose lips and for stealing drugs. I don't think Trace has loose lips. I mean, he stole the drugs, no doubt, but I don't think he thought about he was stealing drugs from some drug dealer, like a dude like Kane. I think he thought he was just taking stuff from his brother, from his little brother. And even though technically that's still stealing, yes, I know, it's different when you take something from your brother. Like, nah, I got you. Me and my brother do that all the time. if I go to his house, he knows to check my suitcase before I leave because I'm gonna get him for a pair of Jordans. I'm gonna get him for some pair of some hoodie that he has. I'm getting him for something. And when he comes here, I know that by the time he gets to the airport, he's gonna send me a picture wearing something that he got me for. I think that's just the way brothers are. They get you for stuff. And I think Braden, I think Trace just did that with Braden. And because when you can see, even when he went over there, he didn't think it was that big of a deal. He went over there sort of laughing it off, like, whatever, man. It was probably a few $1,000s worth of party favors. And I bet you if it wasn't that big of a deal, if it hadn't blown up like it would, Trace probably would have been like, whatever, man. Here's a couple G, go buy some more stuff. You know, if it really had been a big deal to Braden, he probably would have been like, just go buy some more. Because even when he came in, he said, no, I just took him. Me and my buddies had a good time. We went and partied and had fun. He didn't think it was anything big.
Well, his ass think it's something big now because he got that ass turned inside out by Kane the same way Drew got his ass turned inside out by Everett. And I bet you he won't be stealing no more drugs from his brother.
I agree. He's not. He's going to look at his brother entirely different now, But I still believe that when push comes to shove, he would be protective of his brother, including, I don't think he has loose lips, but I think now is a dangerous part for Tariq because now that Trace knows what they're into, if push comes to shove and it looks like that Braden might go down, Trace will throw Tariq under the bus in a heartbeat to protect his brother. And so I'm thinking that if I'm Tariq, the only way that you're able to sort of protect yourself and insulate yourself from that a little bit is to get Trace in on it so that he gets his hands dirty as well. That way he can't just say, I'm going to go snitch and run it and turn you in. But then you're getting yourself even deeper in with them. And I mean, in some instance, I really think with Tariq, he needs to sort of start to distance himself from both of those guys, but he can't with Braden because Braden is loving this shit. Braden's not going to let it go.
Plus, he trusts Braden. He trusts Braden. He don't trust his brother, but he trusts Braden. The only way you're going to fix that is you're just going to have to kill him. That's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way. Or
graduate him. Graduate him. Let him just do it. Tell him to take 20 classes and let Tariq do somebody else's homework. He's already taken 20 credits and then doing all Zeke's work. He might as well do somebody else's work too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next fan comment.
And I just want to know who's doing all these study guides. Who the hell's doing? Because they're giving out real study guides with the drugs. Where are these study guides coming from?
I mean, haven't you heard of Kinko's? You can just go print up a bunch of them at Kinko's.
I know, but somebody has to actually make the study guides. These are study guides for classes at this particular school. It's not like someone just said, here's a fake book report on Shakespeare's whatever play. These are study guides for particular classes that are being offered during this particular semester at this school. Who's doing all the study guides?
I'm saying you could just probably get the study guide from the professor, then you could run your ass to Kinko's and just
give out study guides.
What kind of professors you had? My professors gave out a study guide.
Our professors gave us a syllabus and they were like, nah, you're on your own. You want a study guide, you need to create it.
No. My professor did not want me going in there and putting somebody's ventilator setting on the wrong thing. She gave us, I guess you could say it was a syllabus, but it was a study guide. It had finer points that you had to then yourself go and read up the extra material. So I guess in essence, it was a syllabus, but it was more so of a study guide too. Because
But those seem like, I understand what you're saying. Like you go to class and your professor may give you a packet and say, this is what we're working on this week. And it may have some supplemental reading material, maybe has some bullet points, but that's not, maybe you consider that a study guide. I don't know. I'm thinking that if you know that you have a test coming up on Western civilization between 1800 and 1900, a study guide is going to go through and touch all the fine points of everything. Whereas your professor may say, we're going to have a test on Western civilization between 1800 and 1900 or whatever, and read all of it and be ready. Whereas a study guide will tell you what the professor has done in the past or what's likely going to be on there because of what's hot, what are the most significant points and all that other stuff. So I want to know who's creating these study guides.
Maybe Stern's husband is creating the study guide.
That dude seems like a dummy. He seems like he knows how to keep Stearns happy, and that's about it.
Hey, I mean, hey, that's all he needs. Stern's a billionaire. Hell,
man, he's about to get killed because Stearns is gonna find out he's running that side business with Tariq, and Stearns is gonna have that kid killed.
Something gonna happen to him.
And that kid's running around probably thinking, oh, I'm young and hot, and Stearns loves me. Nah, Stearns recognizes you're young and hot for him, and then when he needs to get rid of you, he's gonna get rid of you, and he's gonna find somebody else who's young and hot.
Yeah, I mean that's how those white dudes replace them when they get past age 40. Time to change them out for a new blondie. All right, here we go. Here's another fan theory. Check this one out. This was from Dion Simpson. Tommy's going to come back and have 2-Bit and Kane work with him. You see that happening, Larry? Can you picture that? I mean, I don't want to say Three Stooges because they're not stooges at all. But you've got 3 people who at one point in time was a hothead. Tommy, Kane, and 2-Bit. I can see 2-Bit taking orders from Tommy because we've already seen that. But could you see Kane taking orders from Tommy? Because Tommy's going to be the leader in that crew.
I could in this instance, in this respect, because if you think about Tommy's going to be coming back from California, there's a lot of cartel activity out there in LA and California in general. So if Tommy comes back and he's like, yo, I got a direct connect with the cartels, and he basically becomes, Kane's connect so that Kane could run his own business. I can see him taking some orders from him, especially if he goes and says, look, 2-Bit's gonna run things out here, and he makes, and 2-Bit tells Kane, look, you're gonna be the distro, and 2-Bit basically decides to be the head of the whole thing.
Yeah,
the whole East Coast thing, and Tommy gets the stuff to 2-Bit. 2-Bit gives it out to Kane and whoever else in the different boroughs, and they run. I can see that happening.
I'm fine with that too. I'm fine with him having his connection be 2-Bit and Kane in New York while he's doing his thing. I'm fine with that one. So ain't nothing else.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen though.
What's that?
I think that Tejada's people are going to find themselves in some real trouble, and Mary's going to be like, I have no muscle. I got rid of my muscle. I need Kane back. And she's going to go tell Drew and Diana, go get your brother back. And he's going to be like, nah, I'm not going back. And now she's going to have to beg for him to come back.
Yeah, well, we'll see. All right, here's another one. And I've got a real, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't see how they can make this happen. Check this out. All right, this is my folk, Mark Richardson. Tasha is going to die inside before she's supposed to get out. Just like Dre. Because Tariq is going to do something stupid. Last minute. Larry.
No.
Right. I can't see that, my brother. Mark, I love you. I just can't see them killing Tasha. No way. Mm-mm.
I mean, let's be real. We knew at some point Dre was going out. Dre was slippery as a wet eel. I mean, this dude murdered people and went to jail and got out the same day. I mean, this dude was so damn slippery. Eventually, you knew he was going to get caught up. And since the law seemed to always end up, letting him go, you knew eventually the dude was just going to have to get dealt with. And that's what happened. He got dealt with. But I don't see that being with Tasha. Tasha is not somebody who's been super slippery. She just has kept herself out of stuff for a long time.
Yeah. And do you remember how Dre died, right?
I do.
His ass got burned up into prison because like you said, his ass is more slippery than a whole can of Valvoline oil. And that oil got his ass burnt up.
Right.
Yeah. So
And he was about to get out again.
yeah, he's not gonna die. I mean, she's not gonna die.
Now,
Um,
and here's the other thing is that
not like that.
writers often don't like to kill people who hadn't done what they're accused of doing. And so she didn't do what she's in there for. She didn't kill Ghost.
Mhm.
You know, she didn't kill him. So they're not gonna get her killed for something she didn't do. She may get out and then get killed, but she's not gonna get killed inside.
Yeah, I don't see that either. All right, here we go with a new one. This one is from my folk, B. Demick Fisher. Kane, 2-Bit, gonna team up with Tariq. Tasha and Tariq will say Cooper Saxe killed Ghost. Both attorneys will get killed. Okay, Larry, what you think? He's saying Kane and 2-Bit gonna team up with Tariq. Tasha gonna get out. Tasha and Tariq are gonna get Cooper Saxe go to killed over Ghost, and both attorneys are gonna be killed. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's possible. That's possible. I can see something to that. I can see Saxe getting killed eventually, but Saxe is not going to get killed this season. Saxe is going to be, I think, an integral part of this entire series.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a large part where Saxe is going to be he's going to be the one that is constantly going after Tariq.
Okay.
It's sort of the way that they may swap him out at some point and he may become a partner with Tariq at some point, similar to the way Angela was, where she was going after Ghost for the longest time, and then they stopped, and then she was sort of with Ghost, and then she was going after him. And I can see where they go back and forth with that sometime. I can see Meth MacLean getting taken out. I can see them saying, yeah, he's got to go. And especially if it turns out that, if Tariq looks and sees everything like he's playing both sides of the fence, he takes him out. But if it turns out 2-Bit really is his brother, I don't think that Tariq would kill him. Because I think 2-Bit's going to end up working for Tariq. So,
hey man, I've been prophesizing the 2-Bit Tariq 22-bit hookup since last year, and I'm just gonna smile if it happens this year because I predicted it last summer. But
right, and for the other brother, I think his name was Mark, who predicted that Tasha was going to be killed in jail. That's not going to happen because that would totally wipe out the inevitable threesome or twosome, really. I guess the beginning twosome between Tasha and Professor Megram, and then later the threesome between Tasha, Professor Megram, and Monet. So we know it's going to happen. It's just when, and you can't do it if you kill Tasha.
Here we go with this. Next fan theory. I'm not even going to entertain that, and I don't want to see not one damn lock, not one key down there talking about Professor Carey. None of that mess tonight. Now
when you make a brother rub his head, you're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Here we go with this fan theory. Jeff Thomas. I thought it was Thomas Jefferson at first. He said Tommy learned a lot by the end of Season of Power. He's seen why Ghost did the things he did, and he will see a new Tommy, a smarter one. I can rock with that. I can certainly rock with that. I do feel like by the end of last season, and Tommy seeing Ghost basically die in his arms, that was a new awakening for Tommy. And Tommy had seen that a lot of the things he thought Ghost was trying to screw him over, by the end of the series, Ghost really wasn't. Ghost was trying to protect him, and Ghost wanted to just become lieutenant governor. Tommy never wanted him to do that.
Right.
But he did see that Ghost was not trying to hurt him. And when he saw who killed Ghost and understanding the reasons why, I think that did soften Tommy a little bit. And I think Tommy did probably gain a lot of education from last season. What you think, Larry?
Yeah. I think we might see a smarter Tommy. I'm not sure what that's going to mean, though, because I think after watching his best friend get murdered by his own son, I think it's going to make Tommy a much more vicious, but maybe much more calculated person. So okay. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to probably be more careful in some of the things, but I think he's also going to be much more vicious. Like, I think he won't be so inclined. Like if the situation with Tasha and what was Big Booty Chick's name again? The Lala character? Keisha. If the Tasha and Keisha situation had happened after, had happened now, like it had happened after he had seen Ghost get killed, I think he just would have killed Tasha. I think he just would have been much more vicious. He might have been more calculating, so he might have set Tasha up, but I think he just would have killed her, wouldn't have thought twice about it. But I think we may see more of that now. I think we may see him being more, he might be more dangerous than he was before, but in a different way, because in the past he was much more likely to just kill you and quickly and have to deal with the consequences later. Whereas now I think he might be much smarter about it, but he's still going to kill you.
Let me respond to my girl, Tressa C. She's saying, let me put her thing up here. A lot has happened that should have changed Tommy, and he was unchanged. Yes, but the one thing that never happened was his brother Ghost died. That was the one thing that never happened. And seeing your brother die, because they had a bromance going on, and he has lost that bromance, that's something that can change people. I think that'll change him. I mean, I feel where she's coming from. Tommy killed his own daddy. Tommy killed his own girlfriend.
He didn't kill his own daddy.
Tommy killed him, basically.
No, Tommy killed what's his name? What was the dude's name again?
Terezi.
Tommy killed Terezi. He didn't kill his own daddy. He was never a daddy. Tommy didn't know him as a father until
for the sake of the show, man. My God, for the sake of the show, just roll with it. I know it's not his daddy. He spent time with him, but he produced the sperm. He killed his daddy. I get what you're saying, but it was still his daddy.
No, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that against the person, what the person is saying that he killed his own. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, you're right. I'm all I'm trying to say is that he didn't kill his dad. Like for instance, Tariq killed his dad. Tariq killed his dad.
You mean with the bond? They had a bond, and so I mean, in essence, what you could say is Ghost was big brother and kind of a father. No, if anybody was a father figure or I guess a teacher, big brother, maybe it was Kanan, because Tommy and Ghost both learned from Kanan, and Tommy had a certain level of respect for Kanan. So you can kind of say Kanan might have filled that role for him, but Tommy killed Holly, and he had love for Holly. It just wasn't to the degree of love that he had for Ghost.
Right. So, and somebody, what's her name? Viola McGowan says, yes, he did kill him. I'm not saying that Tommy didn't kill Terezi. What I'm saying is he didn't kill his father. Terezi wasn't a father to Tommy. He may have been his biological. Tommy may have learned that this man had provided the sperm as Lamont said a few moments ago, but he didn't kill his father because Terezi was never a father to him. So when he killed, I think it's a different sort of thing to kill someone that has, and I've never killed a parent, so I don't know, but I think it's different when you kill someone who is an actual parent, someone you have known your entire life and you are bonded to them as a parent versus just killing somebody else, And Terezi in that moment was just somebody else. He was someone who came into his life for a little while. He was close to him for a little while because of who he was biologically. And then he got killed. He was taken out. And that was that,
Last one, and I don't think this is going to happen, but this is the rumor. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Mark Richardson, again, y'all know Forrest has been moved to Chicago. Can anybody confirm that? Because I haven't read nothing that says Forrest is moving to Chicago. He's talking about Tommy's story.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Don't we have enough with Chicago with Shameless and with the Shy?
Hey, but we ain't got no power franchise in Chicago.
I mean, I would rather see power, and I'd rather see power in LA, New Orleans, maybe Texas. I don't want to. I'll be honest. Chicago has enough issues. We don't need any more. We don't need any more heat on Chicago.
Okay. Neither the Diva said it's still based in LA, but they are shooting it in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
LA should feel disrespected. That's Tinseltown out there. They should feel disrespected.
Yeah. Philly's so close to New York, but I mean, I guess it could happen because there are some big cities that are very different culturally, that aren't far from New York. I mean, you have New York, then right next door in Jersey, you have Camden and Newark, and then you have Philly, and then you have
I'm crying.
Baltimore and DC.
Latricia C says she wants power in Louisiana. Y'all already got on what's that show? Sugar, Queen Sugar. Y'all already got that. And
Queen Sugar not like power though. Queen Sugar's a sad sap show.
Yeah, but I mean, you got a show, man. We're gonna have power in every major metropolitan in the United States. Hell, have power Raleigh, North Carolina. Let me get up in the joint. Let me go in for one episode, get shot in the eye, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Let's have power Raleigh, North Carolina. Hell, let's have power Washington, D.C. And let Larry get up there and finally get his Ramona moment.
Can you just imagine if they're up there and they decide to move power to New Orleans, and the first thing that we see in the opening scene is Tommy up there at a bounce club having a drink while some people are up there dancing in slow motion to bounce music, or you see him out in the street. What do they call that when they have the band out there playing? Everybody does that step. There's something step they do in the streets when they have the band playing and people are marching in the streets, and he's up there marching in the streets with folks with that rolling through the Treme. Man, hey, I'm all about them moving power to New Orleans. That would be dope.
Hey man, look, we've already said we want to see them do a power crossover with P Valley or Hightown. Now I'm there for that. I would love to see a P Valley crossover and with power. Oh my God! You're gonna have to basically nail Drew in a closet to keep him away from Uncle Clifford. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you. Here, this would be great. This would be great. Imagine this. Imagine that they show Two-Bit and Tommy in New York at the end of this season. The Power Book goes Power Book 2. They show Tommy and Two-Bit leaving New York to drive back to California, and they get ready to start the next season of what's that damn the stripper show with the one with the pink. P Valley. They start the next season of P Valley showing Tommy's Mustang pull up to P Valley and him and Two-Bit get out to go into the pink.
Boy,
because they stopped there on their way to LA. That would be the joint right there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we about to get out of here. Let me put this up at Trisha C. Now, see, I've been thinking Trisha C is a saint. This girl does that. Louisiana is the easiest place to get rid of the bodies. Oh my God.
Man, they got them gators. They got them gators in all that swamp area out there. She knows.
I'm through. I'm through with her. I better watch what I say to her because she know how to get rid of some damn bodies. And I love all my 205 pounds. So no. Oh man. Well, boy, folks, we out of here on that one. Larry, what
Jacoby said it's called second line dancing. That's right. You could be out there. They can open up the scene with Tommy's second line dancing through the Treme as he's out there again, or he could be up there leaned up against his Mustang, watching people roll by the block while they're second line dancing through, and then he's got his business come up. People roll up to him saying, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up?" And he's got his business up and running. I see it. I like what do they call it? Force in New Orleans.
Mike Willie said, God, y'all, man, y'all off the chain, man. My folks Mike Willie said Little Murder would kill Drew if he rolled up in there and tried to get on Uncle Clifford. Yeah, he would. He'd probably create a new hole in that boy. Oh my Lord.
Oh
I'm out of
man.
here, man. Larry, get us out of here. Give the people a word until we see them on Friday.
Yeah, you guys. First of all, I want to say just to all you that came that was looking for my live stream, I was tired. I didn't want to do it, and when I finally just got motivated to do it, it was like 3 a.m. my time. So I did a very short one. I expect to do one tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and get it in early. I don't know how early. It's just gonna come when I feel it, but it's gonna get in early, and I'm actually gonna do a live stream tomorrow and give some stuff away and try and get everything shipped out so people can have it in time for the holidays. So check that out. And also, again, people, I don't care if I sound like a nag. I don't care if I sound like the worst nagging housewife on the planet. Put on a damn mask. Wear your mask. Maintain social distance. I mean, for real. We have still record deaths. We still have record rates of infection. We still have every single state in this union in red or beige or whatever it is that color is, whether they're holding neutral or they're gaining. Nobody's in the green. Nobody is in decline right now. So please, please, please wear a mask. If you see somebody yesterday, I was parked out in front of Best Buy because I had to go buy a new hard drive for my backup. And there was a guy about to walk into Best Buy without a mask. And I rolled down my window and I said, put your mask on. And dude looked at me. He tried to mean mug me. And then he realized when I didn't break eye contact with him, I was like, don't try and alpha male me, motherfucker. I will get out of this damn car, knock you on your head, put a mask on you. And then he looked at me and he looked all sheepish and put his head down and put his mask on. I was like, dude, there's nothing gangster about not wearing a mask. You don't get any props being like, I ain't afraid of no COVID. I'm afraid of no COVID. I'm not wearing no sneaker. I'm a G. I don't need to wear no mask. Nah, that's a bitch mode when you won't wear a mask. These people are up in there putting their lives on the line so that they can go to work and help provide you with whatever you need while they're at work. The least you can do is protect them. You have hospitals filled up. You have doctors and nurses that are dying and getting sick, trying to keep you people alive. And all you have to do is wear a damn mask. So wear your mask.
Wear your mask, wash your hands, and until that next Sexy as Hell video, buy you some Airbnb tomorrow, and we'll see you.
Peace.